Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the market close. Oh boy, it's good to be back. Those of you, of course, who saw earlier in our financial Vlogmas, I was out in the cold. Now I'm in here, hot beverage. Everything's warm. Toasty heat coming off the old red sign in the background because we do have a red day. We've got a nice looking red day, that's for sure. All right, without any further ado though, you know what? Let's jump in. Actually, before we jump in, I'm going to lay the groundwork for a couple of things here. If you guys want a Friday stream, yeah, we'll absolutely do it. For supers as usual. Now, this is going to be craziness, but if we go beyond the 4, if we go to 7, I'll do 2 streams. I'll do Friday and I'll do tomorrow. We'll do both. But it's up to you guys. Anyway, let's get to the charts first of all. Let me just pull up the right screen here. I think it's this one here. All right. And holy banana bread, it is doing some fun stuff for us. Give me a second here. Let me see if I can fix that for you. I don't want to go to that. I want to actually go to, let's see here, Safari. And I think that's the one we're looking for. Nope, that's not the one we're looking for. But that is Bitcoin, guys. Just me one more second here. I had to reboot a bunch of stuff yesterday, so things got a little out of whack. I thought this was set up the way we wanted it, but here we are. This is what we're looking for. Here we go. We got a new line. So this blue line is where the TSX started the month. So as you can see right now, we currently have a red month thus far. So we are below the line. I do anticipate that we will be above that line by the end of the month for sure. I would be, if we're not, you guys give me heck. Give me heck if we're not, because I'm calling that we're going to be above it. Especially if we do get a Santa Claus rally. If we get a Santa Claus rally, that'll send us skyrocketing above this line. We'll see how it looks. But anyway, we are currently below the line. We're having a red day up here in Canada. Interesting. And I'll tell you why it's interesting. Because look at the US. The US is all green. So basically up here, Canada, we are down 0.12%. The S&P 500, look, they're doing well. They're up 0.61%. And you know what I should do? Before the next market close, I will add a line for the S&P 500 as well. Why not? The NASDAQ up a full 1.13%. Dow Jones up 0.8%. Gold's looking good, up 0.23%. Silver's up 0.92%. Well, now it's moving. It's still a work in progress. West Texas Intermediate down 1.37%. Today may have been a good day to be playing that inverse oil ETF. Bitcoin doing great. Look at that, up we'll pull this over, 3.4%. And as you can see, this little green line, that's our all-time high. And this pink line, well, that's our $100,000 Bitcoin. So can this pump continue? Can we break that all-time high? Can we finally get a $100,000 USD Bitcoin? That's an unraveling story. Will it break out while we're on the air? Maybe we're going to see this today. That could be really, really, really cool. Bitcoin, do it, Bitcoin. I want to see it. I want to see it on the air. Now Ethereum is also having a really good day. Ethereum is up 6.9% on the day. Yeah, we got a nice pump happening here with Ethereum. Looking at the heat maps, over here in Canada, we got a little bit of, we got some green. Commodities Vic's favorite Constellation Software, definitely in the green, up 1.80%. Dollarama, look at this. Dollarama down 6.14%. And that's interesting. That's interesting. And you know why that is interesting? Guys, we had the Dollarama earnings come out. Let's actually pull those up right now. All right, here we go. Dollarama. I'm just going to remove them and put them back because then it puts it right at the bottom and I don't have to go hunting for them. All right, now, here we go. Dollarama earnings. Obviously, with a drop like this, you know that they had a little bit of issues, and they did. It's not bad, though. It's not that bad. If you look at it, they had an estimate of 0.981 when it comes to earnings. They got 0.98. I mean, they really close. They just missed by a tiny bit. Like in the back of my head, I can hear Maxwell Smart saying, we missed by just a little bit, you know. I think he had that one. There was a saying that you know, from Get Smart. Anyway, that's in the back of my head. And when we look, once again, we look at their revenue. They were anticipated 1.56. They got 1.56, but when you go a little bit deeper into the significant digits, they ended up missing by $183,000. That's it. That's it. To me, this is not bad. This is not bad at all. So what this has done for, as far as I'm concerned, is, you know, it's a nice little dip. It's a nice little dip. I expect them to recover pretty quickly from this because honestly, those earnings weren't that bad. Dollarama is a strong company. I feel they're going to do well. I definitely feel they're going to do well. Okay. Back to Canada, though. We went off on that little tiny bit of a side. We got Bell struggling again today, down 2%. That's pretty interesting. Over here, we got the banks, and we're going to look at the banks a little bit later. After the bell, we'll take a look at the banks because we do have some of the earnings starting to come in. That means, guys, next week, I think the Tuesday video is going to be the banks video. So we're going to tally it all up and take a gander at everything in the banks and see what's going on. But yeah, we can still look today. We can still look a little for sure. All right, going a little bit south of the border, U.S. looking pretty strong. We got a pretty good day. Look at this. NVIDIA up 3.32. Amazon's up. Microsoft's up. Google is up. Definitely a strong day for tech. Even Tesla's up a little bit, 1.41%. Eli Lilly up. We got some good companies that are up. There's also a good amount of red, like, you know, Visa, MasterCard, they're both down into the dumps. Yeah, not bad at all. I'm liking it. And of course, over in crypto world, we got Bitcoin up 3.03%, Ethereum up more than twice that. Now, XRP, oh boy, they're down 5.82%. And it's interesting, everybody was saying, we got to get XRP with the way they've been pumping. So let's just take a look. Here's that big XRP pump. And you know what? This is a normal thing. When you get a big pump like this, you're going to get a bit of a correction. We just have to see how deep that correction goes and what happens next with XRP. But the fact that Gensler is going to step down from the SEC and that we're going to be looking at whoever his replacement is most likely going to be a crypto-friendly replacement, that's good for XRP. So definitely something to see for sure. All right, now we're having a green day. There are quite literally more than 15,000 coins out there. And a lot of them are not that good. A lot of crap coins out there. I like to grab a random crap coin and just to highlight it. Here we go. What is this? Handshake. Okay. It seems like a friendly coin. It wants to shake your hand, but it's worth about 2 pennies right now. That's not bad. They actually did move up a little bit. At one point back here, they were worth 2 pennies. 2 pennies. well, 2.6, I guess you could say 2.67. Here they're worth 2.14. I don't know what this is. I don't know what I guess when it comes to Handshake. There's a lot of coins like this. Guys, don't waste your money. Don't put your money on stuff like this. Really, really, really don't. They're just highly, highly dangerous. There's nothing wrong with getting yourself some good exposure to crypto, but this is not what I would call a good exposure. If you're looking to invest in crypto, well, you know what, guys? Oh, I have nothing. I have nothing there now. Let's come back. All right. Stick to the good coins. Stick to your Bitcoin, your Ethereum. XRP, I know they're down today, but yeah, Solana. Even Dogecoin is better than a lot of these other crap coins that are out there. So definitely, you know, stick to the ones that are a little bit better. Look at this. Ooh, Polkadot is one of my favorite little coins out there. They're having a pretty good day. Look at this. That's some pretty good movement on the good old Polkadot. So definitely fun. All right, guys, let's hit the chat and see what's going on with you guys. So give me a moment here. Boom. All right, let's come back to, we'll come back to big screen. All right, Enid is first in the house with a hello, everyone. Vic says, twice in one day. Roads are bad, freezing rain warnings also. Oh, God, yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, guys, I will be, I'll be on the air a lot in December. So, quite literally, we have the Financial Blogmas. So, those are shorter ones. I think today was about 20 minutes, maybe. Yesterday, we went a full half hour on it, but we're going to just come in, single topic. We'll just chat away, all of that fun thing. It's part of, as you guys, if you've been around the channel for a while, you know I like to do something every December. Last year we did market closes. So that was fantastic. So this actually came out of last year's. So maybe these Financial Blogmas, maybe we'll all of a sudden have like a, you know, if you guys like it, we might throw something into the schedule for next year. Like maybe every so often we'll do just a single topic, quick little live stream or something. So anyway, we'll go. So far you guys have been tuning in, and that's fantastic. I love it. All right. But yeah, there will be one of these every day, all the way up to the 24th. I do try. So if you look at the Discord or the Facebook, if I have a general idea when I'm going to be on, I'll post it there just to give you guys a general idea, because I know that these are technically not any specific schedule. Usually what I'll say, for example, today I think I said I'll be on probably a little after 1, and I think I was on by about 10 after 1 or so. So just something to keep in mind. All right, Sandra B is in the house with a hello. And what happened to Dollarama? Well, they just missed earnings. Not by much, as you guys saw a little bit earlier, but that's what's caused them to have a little bit of a correction. Or, you know, I look at it as being a good buying position, really. Mario is in the house with a good afternoon. Yes, and Vic says I got 3,000 plus shares of CVE. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I just realized I have no idea what time it is, so I had to take a gander here because I don't want to miss the bell. So the bell, we got about 55 seconds to the bell. So anybody who is listening to this on, you got your headphones in or anything, just be aware there's going to be a loud noise in about 40 seconds. So, you may want to just turn your volume down, maybe pull your earbuds out when the bell happens. But yeah, I just want to let people know, because I had one person who said, that bell's too loud, you should get rid of it. I'm not going to get rid of it. I think the bell is fun. So it's here to stay, but I will try to always give a warning before it happens. So you have 20 seconds now, guys, till the bell. All right. And I do want to look at CVE the second the bell is done. So we're sitting here at about 10 seconds, guys. If you are sensitive to sound and you haven't removed your earbuds at this point, it's on you. It is on you. I apologize. All right, here we go. There we go. Nice little Wednesday bell. Markets are closed. All right. I wanted to take a look at the CVE for Vic because I know Vic had mentioned it as well when we were doing the financial Blogmas outside. All right. Let's get over to here, and I actually have to pull up the site because I do not have everything. Oh, sorry. Stocks and investing, resource sites, TMX money. Here we go. All right. So here we go. Cenovus Energy. Oh, I see what you were buying there, Vic. You bought a little bit of the dip here. Just going to open this on up. So yeah, and actually let's go a little bit further out. Let's go up to the 3 years out. So here is good old Cenovus Energy. Kind of a little bit of a sideways movement. Energy has been struggling. Energy has absolutely been struggling lately. I think it's going to struggle for a bit longer. We are in a situation where, quite honestly, there's a lot more demand. There's a lot more supply than demand. And what that does tend to impact the price of oil and bring it down. I think a lot of the Canadian companies, and we talked a little bit about this earlier, because the topic for the financial Blogmas was Canadian oil exports. And we did talk a little bit about it. So there's always going to be a demand. Like the U.S. will have a big demand for Canadian oil, simply because, when it comes to processing, they need that heavy crude, and they're producing mostly light crude. So they tend to sell what they're producing, and they import what they need. That's fantastic, and that's good for Canada for sure. And I know even with Trump saying, let's go, drill, baby, drill, that drilling is going to more than likely bring up a lot more light crude, and they're still going to have that need for what Canada has. So that there is fantastic. I think long term, I have a lot of I do have a lot of bullishness for the oil industry, and right now I'm sitting in XEG, but there's part of me that thinks I should be in Torlamine because they have that habit of those extra dividends, and I haven't actually looked at Torlamine in a while. Let's take a look here. Whoop, TOU. Torlamine, here we go. And you can see they're down today too, but, oil's down, so obviously they're going to be down. When we look at them, and you'll see the same idea here. And this is where, if you look at a company like CVE and you see that sideways movement and the way it's behaving, one of the questions you can ask yourself is it the sector that's doing it, or is there something wrong with the company? And when you go and look at something like Torlamine and you see the exact same pattern, that gives you a lot more confidence that it's a sector, that the sector's doing this. And that's technically not really a bad thing. And I think the sector's going to be fine. And oil will, of course, go back up. You have to realize oil's I was going to say an infinite. It's a finite resource. So it is actually predicted. I think with the U.S., it's predicted in about 11 years, going at their current rate, they'll hit peak oil. So that'll be interesting to see as oil starts to decline. Hopefully by then we have a bit more of, renewables and things like that. And that is going to happen. But right now we need the oil. So anyway, let's move on to Larry. Larry says, we bought Koru 3X South Korea Bull ETF yesterday on that craziness that happened. Oh yes. So those of you who are living under a rock, you may not have heard that the president, I think he's a president of Korea. He declared martial law. And about 3 hours later, the parliament overruled it. So the martial law was removed by Congress. But yeah, so there's definitely some interesting stability, and good on Larry for taking advantage and getting in there and utilizing that. So yeah, definitely. And Rick is mentioning France. So South Korea, France, so much instability. Yes, France. Their president had there was a vote of non-confidence. So, and they lost. So, and that, keep in mind, guys, that could probably be in our future here. I know that right now the Conservatives are trying to get a vote of non-confidence through. I don't think this one's going to pass, but I imagine in the spring we probably will get one to pass, because the last thing I think the NDP want is if there's no, if let's say, for example, they support the Liberals right up until we have to have an election in the fall. That would be, I think, bad for their image overall, because they need that distance, even though right now they're still kind of supporting them because they're not ready for an election. I think in the spring, at that point, they'll be like, look, let's do it. Let's have that vote of non-confidence. Let's vote them out. And this will be our, we can basically say, hey, look, we helped vote them out. We're not tied at the hip to the Liberals. So they can certainly, to me, that would make a lot of sense. So that's one of the reasons that I'm pretty confident that we're going to see that happen in the spring. All right, now let's see here. Bleak is in the house with a hey all. We got Joe, pump it up Bitcoin. Oh, let's take a look here again and see where we're at. All right. Oh, we got close. Look at this. We're sitting up here. Come on, Bitcoin. You can do it. Let's see. Vic is saying PayPal is up finally. Bag holding there. Yes. Good old PayPal. PayPal is just one of those investments that I feel like there are so many options, especially with some of the Bitcoin options for transferring money, that it worries me. It does worry me a little bit about PayPal, but PayPal does have a very big customer base. So, and there's a lot of people I think that are still kind of leery about using Bitcoin in that capacity. So that's certainly good for PayPal. But long term, oh boy, I don't know if I'm confident in Bitcoin on the longer term scale. And when I say long term, guys, I'm not talking like within the next year, within the next 2. I'm thinking like 10 years down the road that that PayPal, may just lose a little bit of the share to more Bitcoin options. All right. Paul is saying pump the Bitcoin. Yes, absolutely. Y Video says Pure Storage had a good day with the results and a deal with an hyperscaler. Let's take a look at Pure Storage. Let's take a look here. All right, PSTG. Here we go. Pure Storage. Look at this, up 22%. That's absolutely cool. Oh, this is like, this is straight up. This is like absolutely straight up. Yeah, and that's what happens sometimes when you do have some of these deals, like with another company, or a takeover, things like that. You can sometimes see some crazy movement like this. Look at this. It went from $53 up here it peaked up here at 67. So that's not too shabby at all. All right. All right, Paul is saying, when will XRP mean revert? A video on mean revert on stock price. It cannot go up forever. No price can go up forever. Corrections are absolutely normal. And I think we're seeing we're at least seeing a small correction right now on XRP, but I think it might be a smaller correction. Right now, there's going to be a lot of hype around XRP because of the changes that are coming with the SEC. So I would say that if we actually get a full inversion, like a really good big correction on XRP, I'm going to say it's probably going to happen at least after January 20th, not before. But we may see, like I said, this correction go a bit deeper that we're having right now. But that's just normal for the market. Look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin corrects all the time. It's just part of that volatility that's built into crypto at this time. Samer's in the house with a hi all. Mario says Harvest HTA just increased their dividend again. Nice. Harvest HTA. Let's pull this one up here, guys. HTA. It probably helps. Look at that. It still came up, even though I misspelled it. That's great. I love it. So that's your Harvest Tech Achievers. This is, I do like this ETF, and just pull it up over the last year. And you can see as tech has been going, this ETF, you've been getting some growth. And in addition to that growth, you got a nice little 7.808% dividend. Let's take a look and see if I can see the change here. We'll go over here to the key data. All right, let's see here. If they've already, yeah, look at this. It's gone from 13 cents to 14 cents. So that's not too shabby, not too shabby at all. And here's the thing I will mention. AI has been kind of simmering lately. There hasn't been a lot of news, but get ready for AI to blow up. Sooner than later. I know right now, OpenAI is on the verge of releasing ChatGPT 5. And that's going to bring a lot. It's going to be, well, GPT-5 is pretty much going to bring, it's going to be compatible with basically an AI agent. So if you haven't heard about AI agents, that's kind of built into GPT-5. So that is coming soon. That is coming soon. I can't wait. All right. Roku Stittsville is here with a hello all. And of course, Stittsville has, of course, the snow as well. We got JJ in the house with a howdy, folks. And let's see, it's a snowy afternoon here in Montreal, -5 with the wind chills. Yeah, last I looked, it was about -8 here with the wind chill. But mind you, where I did my stream from earlier, the wind was blocked. I have fences. They pretty much blocked that wind, so I didn't get much of that. And look at this. We got a super sticker here. We got a super sticker here from, let's put it up here, from Y Videos. Of course, you know what that means. That means they're the GOAT. They are the GOAT. So yeah, I did put up a thing. We got a 2-for-1 type thing happening here today. So if we do 4 supers through the stream, we'll do a Friday. If we do 7, then we're doing Friday and Thursday. So, it's like 1 super discount to get on the other one. It's up to you guys. But no matter what, you're still getting your financial Blogmas all the way through to the 24th of December. So, and guys, if there is like a topic that you want to see covered on a financial Blogmas, just feel free to, let me know on Discord, Facebook, or on any comment on one of the Blogmas videos or live streams. I'll absolutely, because, I've got a 24. I need 24 single topic, single topics. So I got room to cover a whole bunch. If you guys have one you're looking for, definitely drop it into those comments. All right. Whoops. That was not what I meant to do. This is what I meant to do. I meant to get rid of the GOAT. All right. Vic says, thoughts on ZLSU or ZLSC, cheap long short strategy via low cost ETF. Well, let's take a look at ZLSU. All right. Let's see here. ZLSU. So BMO long short US equity. All right, whoa, how did that happen? We went into their trade history. That's how that happened. All right, I'm going to pull up the last year. As you can see, so this here, ETF, it's like a covered call ETF, except for in this case, they're basically just doing longing and shorting on, of course, the US equity. So I think there's an actual specific index that they're doing this with. I don't know if it'll mention it down here. Whoops. All right. It's not telling me exactly which one. So it's just using a basket. Some of these will say that they're doing it on, for example, whatever index it's in the name. But in this case, it looks like they're just doing it with a basket. And it also looks like they're being pretty successful. This is not a bad movement. Not a bad movement, because the nice thing about this is because it's a long and a short, you should this should be making money whether the market's going up or down. Because if things are going down, they're going to short them. Or sometimes as well. Sometimes it might be a sector going down. They may be shorting that sector while they're also putting longs on some of the things that are doing well, like on a sector that's doing well. And this one here does have a small distribution. So you're not going to get a lot here. You're getting a 1.527%. But look at the growth. Just in the last year, they've gone from $31 to $40. So that's not too shabby. What was the other one there, Vic? ZLSC. Let's take a look at that one here. ZLSC. And this here is the long short Canadian version. Okay. And I imagine it's going to... let's just... Whoa. Things like to disappear, don't they? There we go. Let's pull up the 1 year in this one. Once again, pretty much the same pattern. In this case, from $31 to $37. So yeah, these are nice. These are nice. So they are very much like a covered call, but as I said, in this case here, you're really using a lot of the money that you're generating through your long shorts to pump up the value of this portfolio, which of course is then translating into some growth, and they probably are similar. Yeah, look at here, 2.3. Come on, guys, stop moving. It's when ads load in, it pushes everything around. 2.351%. This is one of the things. TMX. I mean, I love the site, and they used to not have so many ads, but now they've absolutely pumped in a lot of the ads, and they're popping up like crazy sometimes. All right. Paul is saying MicroStrategy low 365.60 and close 406. Look at that. That's a big range. That's definitely a big range, and that's playable. That is definitely playable, and I know that Paul does a lot of swing trading with MicroStrategy, so hopefully you made some money with that, Paul. Hopefully. Sammer says, bought 10 more MicroStrategy at 375 today. And let's see, I have a nice bag of XRP and HBAR that were bought 2 years ago. Ooh, that must be nice, especially with the XRP. All right. Missy says, hello, Candace. Did you warm up? Love the quick lives. Yes, I did warm up. I warmed up pretty good. I'm nice and toasty now. All right. We got our second in, guys. We got our second super sticker in here. So Paul is now the GOAT. There we go. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Paul. So that's 2. So we're 2 away from a Friday stream. And, and if you want a Thursday stream too, then we need 7 in total. So that means we're 5 away from that. I have to do the math in my head. The fun of it. All right, Mary is in the house with a hello, everybody. And as you guys know, Mary is our hit the like button mascot. So guys, hit the like button. We're at 17 likes. Come on, guys. We can get it to 20 easily. We'll ask for more later, but let's first get those likes up to 20. I'm going to have a hot beverage here as part of what Missy was saying about warming up. Excuse me. Ooh, there you go. I saw one of you. Come in. I saw one of you. All right. Missy says, let's see. I'm trying to register to your Wealthsimple code, but I need your code. I already registered my email, but I have never opened an account. Maybe I need to delete my profile and re-register my email. I'm not sure. I'm not sure where you're at on that, but my code. I can get you my code. Just give me 2 seconds. Shakes of a lamb's tail here. It's one of the bad things is with Wealthsimple is that they gave me a code that has underscores in it. I'm like, seriously? All right, I'll drop that Wealthsimple code in the chat for you. But there it is. There it is. Oh, I'm almost at the end. Okay. Woohoo, I finally started to catch up. All right. Paul says, been just holding MicroStrategy for now. Too volatile until Bitcoin hits above 100K and stays there. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. All right, guys, one thing I did want to look at. there's one thing I wanted to look at on this stream. Look, Bitcoin's coming back down again. Oh boy. All right. I wanted to look at the banks. Let's pull up. I got all the banks up here. So Bank of Nova Scotia, they had their earnings and they missed. They missed. And you can sort of see, look at this drop. Holy banana bread. But with the Bank of Nova Scotia, they dropped they missed quite a bit. So when it comes to their earnings, they did miss by 1.76%. So they were supposed to get 159.8. They got 157. So not too good on that. And on the revenue, they also missed by 1.20%. So that's basically 103.47 million they missed by. So yeah, no, Bank of Nova Scotia, the first up, they botched it. They botched it. Now, National Bank also had their earnings. Interestingly enough, look at this. National Bank met expectations, but they still plummeted. So never good, never good. Now, when I do my deep dive into these for that video, I'll find out why this happened, because I'm thinking there must be something in those earnings that upset investors a little bit. But they did beat. They beat their earnings by 0.46%, and they beat revenue by 1.51%. So, National Bank has absolutely been on fire. Royal Bank had their earnings. Now, Royal Bank, they went up because their earnings were good as well. They beat their earnings by 2.14%. They beat their revenue by 2.38%. And I believe Royal Bank actually increased their dividend. And so I know a couple of banks did as well. Now, who else I don't think I have. No, I don't yet have the earnings on BMO. Let's see. And nope, no earnings here. TD. Oh boy, I can't wait to see TD. And we're gonna just take a quick gander at these guys and see if I have anything yet on these. Nope. And I think BMO, nope. So that's pretty much what we have so far. We may get some earnings. We'll probably have earnings tomorrow. By Friday, we'll have them all. So we'll have all of the bank earnings. So yeah, all the fun. TD is going to definitely be the more interesting one. Let's see, because for one, they had, of course, got hit with all of that money laundering fines, and we're going to see what happens there. It's going to be interesting. All right, let's get back to the regular list. Oh my God, guys. Uh-oh. I have got to. I'm trying to use the color wheel to get me a green. Anyway, I've seriously. Oh, there we go. The TSX, it made it into the green. It closed in the green. Holy banana bread. Up 0.02%. I think this is one of the first times I've had to change the color in the middle of a stream, but the TSX pulled out the green by the end of the day. And once again, the S&P 500 up 0.61, NASDAQ up 1.24, Dow Jones up 0.69, gold up 0.28, silver up 0.95, oil down 1.54, Bitcoin 2.82. So they're slipping a little bit, as we sort of seen here. It's like, come on, Bitcoin, you gave me hope. And then you pulled it down. For me, I just want to see them break that 100 so I don't even have to, so I can get rid of that line. I'll get rid of that line. Ethereum as well up, and they're starting to retrace a little bit, so we'll have to see what happens through the night on these ones. MicroStrategy, just because, I know that Paul's been talking, they're slowly starting to move up, but that's because of Bitcoin. I think they're at a point now where if Bitcoin does well, MicroStrategy will probably do well for a bit as well. But they are up 8.72% on the day. NVIDIA up 3.48%, and Tesla up 1.85%. So not too shabby. our last look at the heat map, and I'm gonna get rid of the losers. Let's just look at the winners for our last look. You can see we got Routers up, TD up. I'm surprised at that. Fairfax Financial, that does not surprise me at all. Yeah, we got a lot of interesting things. We got Lug. I know it's in mine. No, is it London? No. Yes, it is. London Gold. There we go. Yeah, Amira, Fortis. This is, of course, this here is utilities. Utilities is doing well. Gotta love utilities. Yeah, and let's take a look here at the U.S. And once again, we'll get rid of the losers. We'll get rid of the losers, even the little winners. And as you can see, there's just a lot of green right across the board. Even Costco is up 0.89%, so you gotta love that. Walmart's up. Keep in mind, stores like Walmart, Costco, they do well this time of year. They do very, very well for sure. And it's kind of surprising with Dollarama. Dollarama also does really well this time of year. So we'll have to sort of see how they bounce back. I think they will for sure. And of course, crypto, once again, crypto looking good. Right across the board. I need to see Bitcoin do its thing. Oh, Polkadot's even up a little more. They're up to 11.04%. So what can we say? This has been fantastic. All right, let's get back here to the chat. Larry says, was about to resub to Disney for new Star Wars. They raised their price to the same as Netflix. I watched the new Star Wars. Yeah, the new Disney Plus Star Wars is called Skeleton Crew, and it feels like the Goonies. It really does. I did watch the first 2 episodes. The only concern I think I would have is that, you don't want people to watch it and say, oh, it's just like the Goonies. You want to differentiate. You guys know what I'm saying. My mind is just not working on that one today. But you want to differentiate yourself from the Goonies. So you want to stand out a little bit. So that it'll be interesting to see how that goes from there. But yeah, I guess it kind of makes sense. Now, this is a month that I think Netflix will probably win the streaming wars in December, which can add up to a bit on their stock because they got a lot of stuff. They got a lot of stuff on Netflix because of let's see, Squid Games season 2 is coming out. I know Stranger Things is due out. I don't think in this month. I think next year. But there's a lot of stuff coming out on Netflix. I think that people will be interested. I watched. Oh God, I actually watched Is It Cake? The holiday edition. So making things, Christmassy things that are cake. Anyway, I don't know why it's a silly passion, but it's kind of funky to see that people can make a common everyday object out of cake and it looks the same. It's like craziness. I've never done anything even close to that. Usually my cake, it usually looks like, it usually looks like something that has cracks in it because, it never goes well. All right. William is in the house. Hi, William. Yeah, absolutely. I agree, William. National Bank was punished for no reason. So far, I don't see a reason. I'll dig deeper because I do have that video coming out next week. But right now, I would have to concur for sure. I would have to concur. Paul says, yep. Today helped 1D plus 87, 1 week, 5, 1 month. Yeah, and 3 month, 125. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the whole thing is MicroStrategy is, they're awesome. Well, keep in mind, and you guys are going to get to see a pretty, I think it's next Friday. Next Friday's video is it? Yeah, next Friday is the MicroStrategy one. So that was the subscriber-sponsored video. Paul so graciously grabbed that, and we're getting MicroStrategy. I can't wait. I'm actually really excited about that one. The one coming out this Friday, or tomorrow if you're a channel member. Channel members get to see all the videos one day sooner. Coming out tomorrow on Friday is Canoe. So we got a new deep dive on Canoe. I'm looking forward to that as well. All right. Let's see. Paul says, I canceled my Paramount Plus renewal. I then wait for the email with the 50% off 1 year. That is really smart. I have discovered things. So, one of the reasons, like every so often I go to quit something, I almost always get a really good deal as I'm trying to cancel. So sometimes, even if it's a service I want to keep, I will go through the cancellation. I'll sign right back up if it doesn't work. But a lot of times they will throw you a bone in the cancellation process. So that's very cool, Paul. That's a good move. Good move for sure. 50% off for 1 year. Now, I've not tried that with Paramount Plus, and I know we do subscribe to it, so maybe that's something we need to do to get that 50% discount. Jersky is in the house with a hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Jersky. How are you? And, we got 9 in the house. I don't have any subscription services. Oh, interesting. So are you, 9, answer me this. Are you just watching like cable? Is anybody still doing cable? That's what I'm kind of curious. Like, I can't remember, honestly. I cannot remember the last time I had cable. Oh, I probably should move the goat. But no, I can't remember the last time I had cable. It's probably been, I think it's been more than a decade. And that's kind of, because being involved in tech, one of the things that I did early on is that, not saying you should do this at all, but, I kind of just watched what I could find online per se. Not saying how I did it, but that's what I was doing. And nowadays it's pretty much, I imagine if we added up the price of all of the subscription services that we have, it probably almost adds up to a cable bill. It probably does. Subscriptions have become the new cable. But 9, what are you doing? Are you doing cable? That's what I'm kind of curious about. Jersky says, I seen Dollarama dropped 5% today. Yeah. And here's the thing, Dollarama, they missed, but they didn't miss by much. Like, quite literally, it's almost like splitting hairs with Dollarama. But yeah, what can I say? I still think they're going to be fine. I think they'll be fine. They're coming in, like, so many people, like, especially if your money is tight and you need Christmas decorations or holiday decorations, where do you go? Dollarama. Even if your money's not tight, why wouldn't you go to Dollarama? You can get some pretty nice looking stuff. You can hang, it's just, to me, it's just a really good thing. All right. Jay says, I think new TV shows cause Alzheimer's disease, no thinking involved. I miss the old MacGyver shows. Yeah. I loved shows that used to have a lot of mystery. Not as in mystery the way they are, but I used to love shows that didn't explain things to you. That, you had to figure things out as you were watching them. Shows, for example, let me give you an example. Like the old Twin Peaks show, when that came out, it's like you had a crazy mystery and you're trying to figure things out and you get surprised. But, what Jay is sort of saying is that nowadays, it's kind of like a lot of shows are made for the lowest common denominator. Like, I cannot tell you how many times I can figure out the big plot twist before it happens because they pretty much led me to it. They gave me all the pieces, so I put the puzzle together, and it's like, oh yeah, it's the father that did it. It's sometimes I find it a little bit too easy. So I certainly would love to have some shows sort of back the way they used to be. With actual mystery that you pretty much weren't going to find out. There's nothing better than to have a plot twist hit me that I did not see coming. That's what I want. I want plot twists I didn't see coming. So hopefully we'll move back in that direction, but I don't have a lot of hope. All right. Now it said, are we going to talk about why XRP is going down past couple of days? Well, it's a correction. It's a correction. I mean, it's not a situation like, let's actually go back there. Let's go back. Whoops. Here we go. Here we go. Crypto, XRP. So when you're looking at anything that moves up like this, you are going to get a correction. Nothing can go up forever. I am still pretty bullish on XRP because, as I mentioned before, their big nemesis for XRP has been the SEC. And with Gary Gensler stepping down, and with Trump set to move somebody else into that role who's pro-crypto, that means, pretty much it means XRP is won. It pretty much is like, here you go. Here's your winning medal. You have won. So XRP, I don't know how high they're going to get in the end. But, I wouldn't be too concerned about this little correction. It's going to happen. It happens with everything in crypto. That's just a very, very normal thing. When you look at Bitcoin, even look at Bitcoin right now, this very minute. They had their nice big pump. Now they're having a drop. And sometimes what happens, and this could be with XRP as well. Let's get back to XRP. So when XRP, as they passed up into the 270s, we could have had a little bit of a sell-off. Just for the simple thing is that if you've been holding XRP for a long time, maybe you're in the green, you're thinking, okay, I'm going to take some profits. That does happen. Now, normally it happens around psychological levels. So, for example, like it happened here at 271. I would have almost said 275 probably would have been a good place for a sell-off. But you're close enough. And that's kind of one of the things I have noticed is that some institutional, especially institutionals, they'll look at a price and they'll say, okay, well, we know that people are going to react at, so let's say with Bitcoin, for example. Oh, that's a perfect example. Let's go back to Bitcoin for a moment. And we're going to come back in time. We'll come all the way back here. I lost my little 100,000 thing. But as Bitcoin got really, really close, like it got within $300 of 100K. And then we had a bit of a sell down. And that to me is institutional investors and not setting their prices to sell at 100,000. They're like, okay, well, we'll sell just before it. So maybe, maybe for example, 99,700 might be a good selling point. And then I'll tell you, those same people who were selling up here, they were buying down here again at 96,000, and they probably sold up here. And you can be sure they were buying down here at 90,000 when we got this. Well, you can tell, look, once we got here, and this is close to another psychological level when you're going down, we got a nice big pump. And that's kind of the way that it works with crypto especially. It happens with stocks as well. But with crypto, you can just see it a lot more. And XRP, as it goes up, it's going to hit those psychological levels. You're going to get these corrections. Then, and it comes down to shaking it out, right? Because the more you get up here, like for example, as we get closer again, we have a bit of a sell-off here. But when we do get closer to breaking it, a lot of times those institutional investors might be, well, okay, are we able to do it again? And will we really get that same correction that we got last time? Have we already shaken off the people who will panic sell? Because that's what they're trying to do, right? When they sell and they get you to come down a little bit, well, they're only getting you to come down a little bit, and they want to scare the people who are holding it into selling, and then that pushes you further down. So that's kind of the way that works. So it's interesting. It's interesting, the whole psychology of it. But I wouldn't be super, super worried. If you're holding XRP for the long term, you're going to be fine. The big thing is when this happens, you just don't want to panic sell. If you see it in the early phases, though. So, for example, with Bitcoin, all the way back here, I should have just stayed here. When you start to see it, even when you were down here, if you sort of sold at that point and then just waited, and this is the thing, you'd have to wait. You could buy it back here. You could get more Bitcoin, or if you were really lucky, you could buy it back here. Chances are, though, if you waited this long and you started to see it coming up here, you probably would have bought back in. But I mean, heck, if you didn't and you waited all the way down to here, holy banana bread. That's what happens, right? Because they'll take however many Bitcoin they have, and when they're selling it at the top and then buying back in down here, they end up with more Bitcoin. That's just the way it works, and that makes them, well, in the long term, when it does recover again, they've got a lot more money than they had before because they've made those moves. All right. Vinit says, hi, everyone. I agree with the ability to get a discount when you cancel a service. Yeah, why not? JJ says, I got 3, Prime, Netflix, switched from Disney, and Shudder. Now I have Prime. I think everybody has Prime, but it's actually funny. A lot of the services too, we started going to the commercial version just because they're so much cheaper, and it's really not that bad watching a couple of commercials. It's not that bad. I don't mind it, actually. So we've been doing that. The only thing that annoys me is occasionally, especially with Prime, I find, they may throw 5 commercials at you, but they'll have one of them where they've cranked up the volume to the point I have to grab for the control, the control thing to mute it, because holy banana bread, it's just absolutely crazy. Looks like people are talking. They want a bonus live stream. Well, don't worry. There's plenty of live streams. Right now, we do have 2 super chats. So 2 more and we get a Friday, 5 more and we get a Friday and a Thursday. Holy banana bread. I'm going to be busy. All right. 9 says, I haven't had cable since I've been an adult. Just YouTube and video games for entertainment. All right. Nothing wrong with video games. And nothing wrong with the YouTube. Heck, right now I'm on the YouTube, so I gotta be pro YouTube for sure. JJ says, what do you play, console or PC? There we go. Oh, and Rumble. Okay, yeah. I've not really dabbled into Rumble, but I think Rumble is pretty much where you can go, and all the rules are out the window on Rumble from what I've heard. Missy says, love Dollarama. Yeah. It's actually funny. I used to have a supervisory position at like a corporate Staples call center once. And I used to go to Dollarama at Christmas. And one year I actually went and I bought all these little houses and I made a Christmas village on my desk. It was actually pretty cool. I loved it. Bismarcky says, happy Wednesday. And 9 says, PC mostly. Okay. Let's see here. Kendall says, I agree at Missy. I picked up more today. Yeah, I mean, a lot of games can be very time consuming, that's for sure. I mean, I used to play World of Warcraft, and that used to eat up a lot of time. So, yeah, definitely. Nailer says, watching BNN, they mentioned Dollarama announced huge spending over 4 years on a sorting center or something close to 500 million. Oh, that's interesting, Naylor. That could be. Maybe investors are looking at, and that's the thing. Sometimes investors will look at a price tag for an expense like this. But I mean, you got to look at something like this. If they're building this, right, it's probably going to be good for the company down the road. But sometimes investors don't look far enough into the future, which is kind of funny because when you actually think about it, the actual market. So the TSX, the S&P 500, they're basically frontwards facing, as in they're looking at the future. That's why when you hear about things getting priced in, it's like, yeah, that's what the market does. It looks a little bit ahead into the future and what it sees coming down the line, prices it in. It makes sense. Let's see. The Sacred 69,420. Interesting. Nailar says, watching BNN today, Dollarama also announced along with earnings, it's purchased land for $50 million to build new distribution center in Calgary at a cost of $450 million. That could be, yeah, exactly, Nailar. I think you hit it. I think you solved the mystery. All hail Nailar. Nailar has nailed it. There we go. Bismarcky says, gonna get Paramount Plus. Jay says, I just got an email today. You can now trade global markets like London Stock Exchange and Hong Kong, etc. in RBC. Oh, interesting. That's very, very interesting. And that's kind of a neat thing. Like right now, if you want to touch a lot of the global stuff, a lot of times I usually just say grab an ETF that's doing all the work for you. But that could be very interesting. Now, if it happens with RBC, I imagine we'll see it starting to happen a little bit more across some of the other banks, and maybe eventually even Wealthsimple. That would be kind of cool. Let's see. Bismarcky says Paramount Plus over the Christmas break. Binge, watch, then cancel. Yeah, absolutely. And that's what some people do, right? People who love binge watching, they may cancel the service, and then then they'll maybe sign up. When they have some time to do some binging, get in there, binge a bunch of stuff, cancel, and then sign up again when they have the time. It makes sense. It works. It definitely works. Let's see. Larry says 1 month left of free Apple TV. I'm going to cancel as soon as the season of Silo is over. Yeah, Silo's pretty good. I'm actually watching Silo. So yeah, I get it there. I get that there. I mean, there are some really good shows on Apple TV. There was one, I think, was it called Dark Matter? And it was really, really good too. But yeah, there's definitely some good shows on Apple TV. JJ says, I'm mostly console, PS5. And that's an interesting thing. I think most of the people who play PC games are probably millennials and above. I imagine Gen Z is pretty much all PlayStation, or Xbox, or, whatever other consoles are out there. Andrew says, Dollarama bought a bunch of land and is going to build a Calgary warehouse. Yeah, exactly. Do you like VDY or Crib better? I really love Vanguard. So between those two, I would choose VDY personally. Let's see. XDiv or VDY? Oh, you keep making things hard. The spell check. That's good because I didn't recognize Crib. XDiv. I think I'm going to keep my answer. I'm going to keep the VDY for now. But XDiv is good. I know. It's actually interesting. I have gotten to the point where a lot of times I will turn spell correct off. Or auto spell correct. Let me just put it that way. It's like, okay, fine. You know what? If I misspell something, give me a little red line underneath, and then I'll change it if it really is a misspelling. But I don't, I don't want you changing the words for me. And I'll tell you one thing that's really annoying is Facebook. When I'm in the Facebook and I'm putting in, for example, the schedule, when I put market close, it sees the word close, and I have a contact whose name is Carrie Close, and it tries to put her name in, and I have to back out of it and type in close again. It's very annoying, and I haven't found a way to turn that off within Facebook. There probably is a way. And I probably need to just spend more time to figure it out, but I just don't want to. All right. Gene says, how do you think about CSU? Is it overvalued? There is... Oh, just a sec. I'm just going to... Oh, yes, it's still correcting. Bitcoin is still coming back. Actually, you know where I want to go? I want to go to Simply. All right. Let's go to Simply Wall Street. CSU. All right, perfect. Now, all right, okay, perfect. No, it is working. It's doing what I want. So the funny thing is, I do love simplywallstreet.st, and now they have a nice share price versus fair value. Now they do the discounted cash flow model, so I use their discounted cash flow model. Otherwise, why do all the work if I don't have to? I can, of course, go in and check out all of their data to see what they did, just to make sure that I'm in agreement with it. But with this here, they're actually showing that the fair value for Constellation Software is $53.15. They're currently sitting at $46.50. Now, I do like Constellation Software. I think, oh, what is all that? More ad stuff over there. Every time I see something like that, a big red bar, it's like, uh-oh, is there like a weather emergency or something? But when we look at Constellation Software, I mean, seriously, stop loading ads, guys. Here we go. Just go into the 5 years. You can see they have been absolutely on a tear. Will they correct? They could. They very well could. And they will correct. I mean, look at this. As you look, stop moving. As you look along this way, there's been little corrections, a lot of little corrections. This one here was a pretty major one. They went from 38 at that point down to 36. But you got to also keep in mind, because their price is so high, that you're saying, oh my God, that share price dropped $200. But $200 is not much for a stock like this. And even here, look at this. They went from $44.50 down to $40. So there was a $300 drop. You're always going to get some of this movement. But I think overall, I think this price is still going to go up. I do like, and I would like to see a $5,000 Constellation Software, and I think they got it in them. Not that it's going to be a straight line there, but they're going to get there. That I feel. All right. JJ says, hey, I have a custom built PC too. I just find PlayStation is more convenient for the most part. Plus, it works better with my Samsung QLED 120 hertz 4K gaming TV. There we go. Let's see. I use my PC mostly for productivity and work. Yeah, that makes sense too. I used to build, like before I dedicated myself to Mac, I used to build my PCs because, I have an A+ certification that used to, I don't know if that means anything anymore, but that is a computer certification from CompTIA. So I remember I took a course where we were doing basically we did half of the year hardware, half of the year software, and the course also gave us the ability to write our exams. So before I finished the course, I went and wrote my exams and passed. And so one of the funny things is the teacher, he actually said that as far as he knows, I was the only student he ever had who got certified before the course was even done. But that's just because I have a way of studying, right? My way of studying is I took the textbook home and I basically read the entire textbook. And then, I got myself far ahead of where the class was. So that way there, I was ready. I was ready before the class was done. So I thought that was kind of fun. Let's see. Paul says, pronounce Destiny DXYZ or Z, Tech 100 ETF that has 36.9%. SpaceX management fee is 2.5%. A little high. Interesting. Yeah, I would. It'll be interesting to see if SpaceX were to fully IPO. I'd buy some. I may not agree with a lot of what Elon does, but his companies do well. And they have that. I want to say they have that X factor. Sorry, that was bad. That was really bad. 9 says, I do emulate console games on PC too. There we go. Let's see. Oh, nice. The PlayStation exclusives. Now, I'm on a Mac, so I'm limited. I'm limited to games. Like, there are games that, like, for example, I used to play The Old Republic on PC, but I can't play it on a Mac. There's no Mac version. They never came out with one. That's one of the downsides to Mac, is that, you are limited. Now, you can do an emulator to emulate a Windows environment, but I just was like, you know what? I don't want to. I just don't want to. So what can I say? What can I say? You can play things like World of Warcraft. You can play, if you're into the Civilization series, you can play up until the new one that's coming out. I don't think is available on Mac. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah. But yeah, Macs are really not gaming machines, and unfortunately, or fortunately, the channel and all of the stuff I do on the channel keeps me so busy that I don't really have a lot of time for gaming anyway. So that's fine. That's fine. But I like the fact that in my Mac environment, editing is so much easier. I can move stuff from machine to machine really, really easy. What I might do, guys, for one of the financial Blogmas, I may basically throw the camera up behind me right here, aim it towards my systems and my work area, and do one like that. So I'm technically I'm in the office, but it's just all of the stuff is behind me, and give you guys an idea of what is there in that. So that's something I'm thinking about doing. All right. Larry says, I buy Google because of their 7.5% ownership of SpaceX. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, I like Google. I like Google for sure. Let's see, JJ, there's a gaming space on our Discord server at least. Is there? You can throw one up if you want. I didn't realize there was one there, but there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. I'm pretty open. I'm pretty open to that. All right, guys, we are getting towards the end. Throw up your final questions. Or question or questions. Keep in mind, sometimes when we get close to the end, you guys all come to life and we don't get out of here for another hour. So that could be today. Oh, that's so good. A very good idea. The behind the scenes cam. Yeah, exactly. That's kind of the interesting thing. Yes, Jersky, I have had to, actually last night, it's hilarious. So the kitten was getting ready to eat the Christmas tree. And I didn't know, I was like, I didn't want to get off the couch. I was watching something. So I did my cougar sound. I can't do it right now because the kitten, quite literally, is right up there. I'll see if I can show you. Actually, let's go full screen. There we go. So she is right up there. Whoops. You can sort of see her thing, her ear. It's just like, Winter. 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 There we go. So she is up there. All right, there we go. We're bracking. So she's up there. If I were to actually show you guys that, or let you guys hear the cougar sound, it would freak her out and she would go running. So, because I discovered last night she does not like the cougar sound. So she ran. She jumped up on top of one of the cat houses. We have these heated cat houses for them. And sent it flying as she then went scooting. And of course, Autumn was nearby and she went running. So it's just like, everyone's afraid of the cougar sound. But, it's just one of those things. I think it was when I was a kid. I used to watch Disney, some of the Disney movies that used to be on the CBC. And they always, it seems like every movie, whenever they're in the woods, there's always a mountain lion. So I learned how to mimic that sound. So I can make a mountain lion sound, and it's really good. Next time I do a stream, and there's no cats in here, I'll close the door and we'll do it. We'll do it. But yeah, she was still trying to eat the Christmas tree last night. Yeah, and she's not, she was born in February, so she's in her last stretch. It's more like she's like a young teen getting in trouble. But yeah, it's she's good. She's good for sure. I wish this cough would go away. All right. Here we go. And I did ask Andrew to bring that because I'd like to. Let's pull it up. Let's pull up WSP here. All right, we're gonna bring up the full screen again. Or sorry, the this one. All right, so WSP Global. Let's go in there. That's a pricey stock. It's a pricey stock, but as you can see, it's had a pretty good run in the last year. And let's go back 3 years, and you can see it's had a really good run. I'm going to go back 5 years. All right, this is great. Here's the pandemic, their little pandemic bump, and you'll notice it didn't do that much for WSP. I think that's fantastic. Like always, guys, when you look at a 1 year, I always say, always zoom out. Always zoom out. It's a good idea. I don't think you need to zoom beyond 5 years for most things. You can go out to the 10-year if you want. And once again, not bad, not bad looking at it from the 10 years. Now, the next thing you want to do with a company like this is you want to know exactly what they're doing. So in this case here, you got engineering and design services for transportation, infrastructure, property, and buildings. They have a service that is in demand. That is a huge plus when you're looking at a company, because with a lot of the infrastructure that we need, whether everything from building houses to, we have a lot of infrastructure with roads, with water systems. There's a lot of really bad ones in the country that are, we're going to get to that point that they have to be repaired. They have to be replaced. Things like the water main break in Montreal, that's a symptom of some of the issues that we have. And it's just the tip of the iceberg. So we got a lot of things coming. So looking at that, this is fantastic. This is fantastic. Now, keep in mind, in this case here, they have exposure all over the place too. Canada, America, Middle East, India. That's fantastic. That's diversification, and there's going to be needs. I know India absolutely going to have a lot of need. Now that we've done all of that, let's go in here to their key data, and let's drop down here and take a look at a few things. So return on equity, 10.94%, return on assets, 3.75%. So they're profitable, and that's not too bad. I'd like that to be a little higher, but I can forgive them on that. Their debt to equity ratio, 82%. So that's not too shabby. They're looking fine in that direction. They also have a dividend, as you can see, 0.375. And it is, you can look here, you can see it's quarterly. So that's not too shabby either. You're getting a half decent dividend. I don't know what the yield is on that. Let me just take a look here and see. Okay. Nope, go away, red screen. I don't want to see you. So it's actually not even that big of a yield. It's a 0.605. But keep in mind, they're like $250 or something. Yeah, $252. So yeah, I like this company. I like the WSP Global. I think they're good. Now with a price tag that hefty, obviously if you're investing like through Wealthsimple, I'm sure this one's probably going to be available for fractional shares if you don't want to go in all the way. But yeah, not a bad company. Not a bad company at all, Andrew. I think it's a good one. 9 says, Knights of the Old Republic was a good game, if that's the one you meant. I did play that. No, I was looking at, what was it, Star Wars The Old Republic. That was their MMO. Sort of like at one point it was called a WoW killer, but it really didn't add up to that. Kind of dorky, and, I think it still exists. But, it was fun. It was fun. I enjoyed it. It had a lot of the lore. And that was the one that was fully voice acted as well. At least initially. I don't know if it's fully voice acted now, but I did enjoy it. I did enjoy it for sure. All right. Okay. I wanted to pull up something else here. Yeah. Let's go over to the Discord for a moment. All right. Wow, look at this. This is another Discord over here for Ecamm Live. It's like I'm always getting notifications from them completely. All right, YouTube schedule, just pulling this up here, just guys can see. I have started putting some of these in the Financial Blogmas, but, all you need to know is they're going to happen every day. I just don't know what time for each of them. All right, we can actually get rid of that as well. Bang, boom. All right, so we got the Canoe deep dive. I'll put this in here. We got that coming up here in not too much a time. So on the 6th, so Friday, Channel members get to see it one day early. We also have our big live stream on the weekend. Those are always fun. A lounge. Okay, let me take a look. Oh, there we go. We do have a gaming channel here. Okay, is that... There's nothing in it, but we have a gaming channel. All right, cool. Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, with the Discord, I'm pretty open, guys. You can put whatever you want in here. I don't care. I mean, I think you have to ask me or JJ to put something up, but you know, as long as it's not something crazy, it's fine. It's fine. I'm like I said, there's only one rule in the Discord, and that's just be respectful of each other. That's it. That's it. That's all I care about. Yeah, that's it. Let's see. Whoops. My mouse is slowing down for some reason. 9 says every new MMO was a WoW killer when I played from 2004 to 2008. Yeah, I mean every single one is. That was one of the interesting things. Like even though I don't play WoW anymore, I still like to go to like like Wowhead and just sort of see where the story's going, because I'm kind of curious to know where they're going to take it. So I usually have a general idea of what's going on, but it's kind of one of those things. I got to the point that I found that everything you're doing, it's pretty much you're always doing the exact same thing. It never really changes, other than they put new fancy dressing on it, call it a new expansion, and voila, you're off to the grind again. And plus, if I'm going to dedicate myself into something and let it dominate my time, it'll be the channel. It'll be the channel for sure. All right. William says, a few months ago, I sold a stock at a huge loss, but the second I sold it, it went up. I also recovered my money through other stocks, but every day I see it going up, I get aggravated. Yes. Oh, yes. This will happen to every investor. Every investor will have this happen. You'll sell a stock and it will immediately go up. And you're just like, what the, I'm not going to say like a bad word, but you might use that bad word. Like, it's just, it happens. It happens. Also, there's always that time when you buy the stock and it immediately goes down. Now, here's the thing though. Some people think it happens all the time. But that's only because when it comes to human psychology, when something happens bad, you tend to remember it. All the times in between, when you bought a stock and nothing happened, or when you sold a stock and nothing happened, it really doesn't resonate, because it's just the norm, right? It doesn't resonate in your mind. But when it does go the opposite direction, that sticks out. That sticks out to the point that I've heard people say, oh my God, this happens to me all the time. And it's like, oh, okay, when was your last time it happened? Oh, well, I don't know, about a month ago. I'm like, well, what happened all in between these two? Oh no, everything worked fine then. And it's just the way we think. It's sort of like, you remember when things go absolutely caca, but all of the things in between, they don't register. They just don't register. So just something to keep in mind. Something to keep in mind. All right. And I'm gonna switch to this mouse, because I think I need to charge that mouse. Anytime I find that my Magic Mouse starts slowing down, it's usually because it needs a charge. All right. We got Reverend Ramirez in the house with a hi. Always good to see you. Always good to see you. You're coming in towards the end, but you're here nonetheless. Y Video says, William, I experienced the same thing when I sold Starbucks before the big recovery after Schultz returned as the CEO. Yeah, and it sometimes happens. Sometimes it's just dumb luck, Like you sell a stock, it's just been doing bad for a while, and there might be something in the news that you didn't see, or some news about to break. It happens. It does happen. Tom says, if the stock was in your cash account, you might consider cash loss harvesting. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, anytime, and this is where you will do it on purpose, right? If you are in a non-registered account, tax loss harvesting is a legitimate business strategy. It's a great way to basically help you avoid paying some of those capital gains taxes. Now, the downside to tax loss harvesting is, well, I think I need Canva. I think I need Canva, folks. And within Canva, I think it's time for the whiteboard. Where is my whiteboard? Here it is. All right. Let's do this an interesting way. I'm going to create a line right here. All right. It's not straight, but it'll be our break-even line, right? So let's just say that line represents every place that you bought a stock. So a lot of times you're going to have your stocks where things go up. You know, you're going to have some of your stocks where, seriously. All right, let's go back. I could have swore I clicked on green. Oh, it's probably because I picked on green for that tool. You're going to have some of your stocks that go up above this line. And that's fine. Any of these you sell, of course, you've got capital gains. Simple as that. And then you're going to have some of your stocks that, you know, have fallen. And that's just part of investing. There's no way around it. Now, here's that thing, right? When you sell these, you get a capital loss. So CL. Up top, you get a capital gain. CG. So you can use a capital loss to eliminate a capital gain, so you're not paying taxes. So the point I think I was making here is that when you intentionally take a capital loss, you know, let's just say you took, we'll just say I'm not gonna switch back and forth. Let's say you took $1,000 loss. Well, that $1,000 can be put against a capital gain. So let's say, for example, this was a stock you wanted to sell out of, and you were $1,000 into profit. So if you were $1,000 into profits, your capital gain is actually going to be $500 because you're going to only pay for half of it. But if you took that $1,000 loss, well, that will cancel out that. So you don't pay those taxes. However, and here's that thing. You've taken a loss down here, and if you buy into something else that's also doing poorly, so I will use colors for this. So let's say, for example, you found a similar stock, and you were like, okay, I sold out of here, and I put it into here, and all of a sudden that stock starts to do better. We'll go into the green on this here. If that stock all of a sudden turns around and does better, what you've basically done in this case is, let's say for as well, this stock also did better. So this would have turned into a capital gain, but you've basically moved that loss over to here. And when it comes back up, you're still going to be, you're still paying that capital gain, because if this is a stock that was down and it recovers, all of a sudden, that $1,000 capital gain is back on the board. Provided you sell. If you don't sell, that's fine. So you got a couple of options that you can do with this. One option and this is one I like. You can do the TFSA. There we go. You can do a TFSA situation here where, let's say, for example, in December, you want to take a capital loss because you get some capital gains you're trying to... So let's say, for example, you take that. Let's say you take a $7,000. We'll do it. You sell for $7,000. We'll say that $7,000 has $1,000 of it's a loss. So you sell for $7,000. You've got a $1,000 capital loss on it, and that's because when you bought it, you paid $8,000 for this asset. Now it's worth $7,000. So you've got $1,000. And you're going to basically means that you've got $500 of a capital loss, but we won't worry so much about that. So instead of going sideways and buying some other stock that will, recover, and all of a sudden you got that capital loss back, you could move that $7,000 into your TFSA, and that's cool because you've now got $7,000 of new contribution room. So you can utilize that. Or if you've got tons of contribution room, who cares? Just move it over. And at that point, you could even buy that exact same stock that was down. I mean, you could technically buy that same stock, and then when it recovers, you write it up tax-free inside of your TFSA. So that's one way where you can use a tax loss harvest, because you've still got that $1,000 that you can apply against a capital gain. But by moving it into your TFSA, you don't have to pay that back ever. It's gone. You've basically beat the system in that case. So that's just another little thing that you can do with those. Anyway, that's why I wanted to break out the whiteboard. That, plus I like whiteboards. I really do. All right. William says it was in a TFSA. So yeah. So guys, when I talk about tax loss harvesting, remember this is only for non-registered accounts. If you have, I hear a plow going by. If you have a TFSA or it happens in your RRSP or a RESP or an RDSP, you don't have to worry about it. It has nothing to do with that. Only if it's in your non-registered account. A Wise Video says, the company I work for will initiate a share purchasing program for the employees. Do you think if these programs can be in the RRSP or TFSA? You'd have to ask your company to see how they're doing it. It may be a situation where a lot of times they'll do it in another account. Now I don't know if you have that option of putting it into a TFSA or an RRSP. Normally what companies will do with RRSPs, they'll do an RRSP matching program. So they might say, we'll match what you put into your RRSP up to a maximum of, and normally it's a certain amount off of each paycheck, and they'll take it. So let's say, for example, it's $50 a paycheck. You would lose $50 off of your paycheck. That goes into an RRSP, plus they would then add $50. So that's one of the things, like that trumps everything. That trumps everything. It's one of those things where if a company's going to match you, you take it, absolutely. Now, with stock purchasing, you got to find out, obviously, if they're going to give you a share purchasing program, normally what it works out to is that they'll take a certain amount off your check to, basically to buy stocks, but they'll give you a discounted rate. So you're not paying the full price for their stocks. And that's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing, but it depends on where they put it, and if you're, if you can move it, or if you can even choose to have it put into something, that you'd have to check with your company with to find out for sure. Let's see. Paul says, in a non-registered account, do not transfer in kind to TFSA. A stock that is in a loss, you will not be able to claim the loss. Is that true? That's interesting. That is interesting. So maybe, guys, I'll have to look into that. I think it was Paul. No, it wasn't. It was either, who was it? I think it was Ian. I think it was Ian actually who came up with that system. So let me look into that to verify that. But if that's the case, don't buy the same stock in your TFSA. Move the money over to your TFSA. Buy another stock. You still beat the system. But if you buy, that's interesting. I got to double check that. Paul. Yeah, the next show, I'll find out. Because that is interesting. I don't like it. That's for sure. I would rather have it. I like more freedom than that. But I'll check on that one. I will check on that one. All right, guys. So we only did 2 supers. So looks like we're not going to have that Friday show, but you guys are going to have me anyway on Friday. We will have a financial Blogmas on Friday, as well as tomorrow as well. But for now, this has been once again another pretty darn good show. Always appreciate these shows. We will be back, of course, other than the financial Blogmas, because that's happening on tomorrow, Friday, Saturday. Also another bonus one on Sunday too. But for the big show, we'll have the big this week on Sunday. Watch out, of course, for the canoe deep dive coming out on Friday. So always good. Let's see. Paul says, i.e., the broker will not give you a slip for a loss. Yeah, I'll double check that, Paul. You're probably right, though. I trust your wisdom. I trust your wisdom. CG says, hey, everyone. Paul, look at this. Sliding in a super sticker in the last minute. Now I gotta pull up the goat. I gotta pull up the goat now. Here we go. Paul is absolutely the goat. All right, that puts us one away. It's like when we're one away, I feel like I shouldn't leave. I feel like I should just stay. Because you guys have worked so hard. Oh my. Why Videos says thanks. All right, guys, I'll give you guys 1 minute. If we get another super sticker, super thanks, super chat, any of that stuff, heck, even if somebody were to, there it is. Never mind. We got it. I got to remove the goat so I can bring the goat back up. There we go. Why Videos came in at the last minute with a super sticker. And yeah, guys, we got a Friday show. So nothing too shabby about that. We will have a market close on Friday. We got all of the others. And keep in mind too, guys, if you have a topic you want me to cover on one of the financial blog misses, just drop a comment on any of them. I'll be more than happy to probably to do it, unless it's, unless you come up with something you say, could you just can you do an issue on Trudeau? I'm probably not going to do that. At least make it a relevant topic. But anyway, guys, this has been fantastic. We have a show on Friday until tomorrow. I think tomorrow I might be back inside, but we'll see. Let's see. If you're too tired, don't do it, please. Me? I'm never too tired. I've been preparing for this month. This is busy month, and that's fine. It's actually funny. I had a doctor, a doctor's secretary called up today, and she was like, we should do a follow-up. How's later in the month sound? And I'm like, nope, not gonna do it in December. And then she's like, oh, okay, well, how about, I got this date open on January. I'm like, what do you got in February? So, you can haggle with anybody, but that's the way it works. All right, so yeah, I'm not too tired. This is gonna rock. This month, like I said, I want this month to be the best month the channel has ever had. We're getting close to the 5,000 subs, so we're gonna have that giveaway with that as well. That's gonna be awesome. So yeah, absolutely. What Paul just said, this is a great thing to end on. If you have not yet liked, and you're here, and you're watching, on the way out, hit that like button. It pushes us out to the algorithm, and people will watch this tonight, and all of that fun stuff. Aditya. I hope I said that right. Says woohoo, and that's I had to pull this one up because yeah, woohoo, it's over. Anyway, guys, thank you for coming here. We will be back again tomorrow for Financial Blogness, and we'll have another market close on Friday. Until then, everybody, take care. Have a wonderful evening. Bye, everybody.